this is such a great atmosphere for these teams, but also for women's basketball.
The Spartans are undefeated inside the Breslin Center, 10-0 this season. Here's Ines Sotelo with the ball down low, going baseline. Here's Van Sluten, 10 to go on the shot clock. Sotelo through the paint, off the glass and in.
Such a hard shot coming across the paint, finishing across her body. What a great start for this Michigan State offense.
Michigan State 17-1 when they open the scoring first, but here comes Michigan. The top offense in the Big Ten, ranked 6th in the country, averaging 87 points per game. Olivia Olsen trying to get things set. Here's Sofakanik. Swords with less than 5 to go. She'll hoist one up from 3, and it's off the mark. But Sofakanik underneath for the putback.
If you're Michigan State, that is a great defensive stop. You're having Silas Swords take a 1-foot 3-point jumper, but you have to finish the play and box out.
And Kennedy Blair, you had said coming into this matchup, she is a guard that you love to watch in the Big Ten.
I mean, she's somebody that nobody talked about. She was a walk-on coming onto this Michigan State team, and now she's established herself being one of the best players in the Big Ten.
And the defense relentless from Michigan. We're going to see it on both ends tonight as Brown takes it to the rim.
What a strong finish by Brown. You can hear this place erupting.
Jalen Brown, the transfer from Arizona State, worked her way into the starting lineup, and Holloway on the end. Drive, but couldn't finish. It'll be Michigan State ball.
Jalen Brown coming into this team, now a starter. She has been dominant, getting on the inside, taking her defenders off the bounce one-on-one, and such a strong finish.
Michigan State ranked 13 in the country, 19-2 on the year. It's their best record in program history. Blair in the paint, gets it to go. Good start offensively for the Spartans.
I love Kennedy Blair's celebrations after her basket. She plays with so much energy, and that's what the Spartan team needs.
And they're going to rely on this home court advantage to snap Michigan's Big Ten win streak. Swords jumper on the baseline, no good. But here comes Dudley. Off the glass and in. That's second chance opportunities.
That's 2 possessions in a row. They got Silas Swords to take 2 really tough shots, and she missed them. But like you said, those second chance opportunities, Michigan State has to slow them down.
That was Jones on the drive, and they're going to call jump ball here. Michigan State led by Robin Freilich in her 3rd season. Led the Spartans to back-to-back tournament appearances in her first 2 seasons in East Lansing. And they'll bring the full court pressure here. Holloway to Olsen. Mid-range jumper, and it goes.
That's great on the defensive end, giving her space, because you know that Olivia Olsen does not shoot the 3 at a high clip, but you have to watch out for her one-dribble pull-ups. You know she loves the mid-range.
And quickly, the Spartans go to work. Van Sluten with her first points.
This game is fast-paced.
These two teams so similar on paper, and they love to push out in transition. We saw it with the Spartans there. And Van Sluten comes in for the takeaway. Down court, couldn't finish at the rim.
She was expecting contact from Olivia Olsen. She has to go up and finish that.
And Dudley on the other end takes it to the cup. High-scoring, quick offense to begin this top 15 showdown. Holloway almost had the takeaway. Blair can't pick it up. She doesn't want to get caught for the travel. Here's Holloway on the fast break, puts it in. Jones pushes ahead. Here's Brown for a 3, and she hits.
What a start to this game. Fast-paced, getting the ball up quickly, defensive stops. I couldn't expect a better start to this game.
It feels like we're in the final 5 minutes of the 4th quarter, not the 1st quarter, Sydney.
And I think we expected this because of the rivalry game.
Here's Swords off the screen, her 3 short. Another offensive rebound, though, for the Wolverines. Brooke Quarles-Daniels spinning in the paint and gets the roll.
3 offensive rebounds, 3 made buckets on second chance opportunities. MSU has got to tighten it up on that end of the floor.
And Brown quickly going off glass. glass. Michigan wants a timeout.
Rico, and she mentioned that because they're so deep this year, they're able to pressure the ball, press other teams, and that's how they're getting a lot of their paint points, because they're turning teams over.
Here's Olsen. Her jumper is short, and Blair gets the rebound. Kim Barnes-Rico also said that we cannot let Michigan State speed us up, and right now, Spartans controlling the tempo. Here's Blair spinning in the paint. Doesn't get the roll.
They're controlling the tempo because they're getting the ball out so quickly, even on made baskets.
Olsen still trying to find her shot, and she hits the mid-range jumper.
That mid-range jumper is going to get Olivia Olsen going. She needed to see one go down. I'm interested to see how that feeds into the rest of her offensive game.
She's coming off a season-high performance. 27 points at Indiana. Here's Van Sluten finishing through the contact. She'll head to the free throw line for a three-point play.
I said this in the pregame. This is where Grace Van Sluten is so good. She is great at taking her defender off the bounce. It's so hard to guard someone at her size who can be so strong at taking you off the bounce and finishing through contact.
The senior transfer from Oregon had 17 points in their win at Purdue. 16-14, the Michigan State lead. Here's Del Foss down low, and she's fouled. Getting our first look at Tayala Del Foss, the sophomore who has taken a really big jump this season for Michigan.
That's line for Michigan. Del Foss shooting two. W checking in replacing Sophie Kinney.
Breaking that press, Michigan was so good at keeping their eyes up. They saw Del Foss on the backside, and they connected on the pass.
She misses the first free throw off the front of the rim. 14 seasons as head coach at the University of Michigan. Kim Barnes-Rico winningest coach in program history. And her team has rattled off 7 straight conference wins. And they bring the full court pressure here. Blair in trouble, is just gonna have to throw this one up. Dudley's got it. Off the takeaway, Dudley can't finish, but she's fouled.
Both teams are pressing. Both presses are very different. Michigan waits for you to get on a corner, and then they bring the trap. For Michigan State, they want to trap you right away. They want to speed you up so you turn it over. But Michigan State, they come, and Olivia Olsen comes to that trap extremely quickly and makes you force hard decisions.
Another missed free throw for the Wolverines. Here's Kendall Dudley.
They have not been great at the free throw line this season. That's one area in their game. There's not a lot of flaws in this Michigan offense's game. Free throws is the one of them.
Well, she gets one to fall, and it's tied at 16 apiece here with just over 4 to go in this opening frame. Spartans finally slowing down a bit. Here's Jones, dumps it off to Blair. Kick out, Brown all alone for 3. Too strong. Here come the Wolverines. Dudley inside, trying to create some space. Last touched by Michigan, it'll be Spartan ball.
For the Spartans, number 10, Sotello, replacing Van Sluten. 5 Daniels in for Michigan, replacing Holloway.
Michigan State got the win on the road at Purdue. 86-65. Here's Sotello with the clear lane. Puts it in off glass.
Such a long closeout. She's a great shooter, so they closed out so tight. She just went right off the bounce.
Here's Olsen pulling up. Her 3 no. Del Foss the offensive rebound. But Jones takes it away. One of the best defenders in the Big Ten. Going straight to the glass, and she's fouled. That's going to be another key for these teams. They want to get to the free throw line.
Yes, Rashonda Jones, she is one of the scrappiest defenders in the Big Ten and in the country. Naismith watch list of Defensive Player of the Year. She had to go in transition and finish strong. She missed it but got fouled. You have to take chances getting to the basket, trying to get easy points from the free throw line.
You mentioned this week, Named to the Naismith watch list for Defensive Player of the Year. She ranks second in the Big Ten in steals, and she hits both free throws.
And she's been so impressive to watch. She was at Purdue last year. She was one of Purdue's best players, but they didn't win much. This is why I love the transfer portal. She transferred to a team that's now top 15 in the country. She's on the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year watch list and one of the best point guards in the Big Ten.
Holloway also one of the best, and it's an offensive foul on Michigan. This one against Silas Swords. So a turnover for Michigan. The press. That one deflected off of Dudley. Sotelo. And a backcourt violation.
In that backcourt, you have Kendall Dudley and Tayala Delfas, who are both so tall and so long. That's why it's so hard to break this press. I talked to Coach Morin from Indiana, who just got done playing this Michigan team, and she said this Michigan team is so good because of how long and tall they are. They have their two tallest players at the front of their press, which you do not see often.
Here's Swords from three. Sotelo gets the rebound, and a foul away from the ball.
Wolverine foul called out number 3, Holloway.
That one going against Holloway as Sala Sambulic hit the ground. Get another look at it.
So many emotions in this game. You have to be careful with those silly fouls in the open court.
Here's Blair, wasting no time on the drive. Too strong. Holloway gets control. From the free throw line, her shot falls.
That is a cold killer shot. What a tough shot to make in a very important time in this first quarter.
Sambulic in trouble. Swords on the ground. And it's a jump ball.
Mila Holloway so great at getting to her spots. She loves her mid-range game, just reading the defender really, really well and knocking it down. And that's how they get back set in that press. If you make shots, you can get back in their press. That is so good and hard to play against.
And they actually ruled it a 10-second violation, not a jump ball. So back-to-back turnovers forced by this Michigan press. 2 minutes to play in this first quarter. 2-point lead for Michigan State over the rival Michigan. But the Swords three puts the Wolverines in front.
Never go under a shooter. That down screen, she went under, and of course Silas Swords is going to hit that shot. She read the defender amazing.
And they trap Jones. Jump ball, it'll stay with the Spartans.
These are games that you live for. I love the intensity. It feels like a rivalry game. The crowd's into it. The benches are into it. The coaches are standing up yelling. But there's also great sportsmanship like on that last play.
A packed Breslin Center. Students got in free today. We know they sold over 11,000 tickets. Brown gives it right back to Van Sluten. She's double teamed. And Corals Daniels comes up with the takeaway. They have forced 6 Michigan State turnovers, but they give it right back. Foul's going to be called on Kendall Dudley.
That's the second time that moving screen call has been called in the open court. Or excuse me, in the half court. This Michigan defense needs to be careful of getting more of those because those are uncharacteristic turnovers, and it gives the ball right back in the hands of Michigan State.
Brown's going to be able to dribble out of this. Here's Jones on the drive. In and out.
Michigan State does such a good job attacking long closeouts and getting downhill.
And transition three. Mila Holloway draining it. 4-point lead for the Wolverines on an 8-0 run.
We talk about Silas Swords, we talk about Olivia Olsen, but Mila Holloway is one of the players that gets this offense rolling, gets this team rolling. At the point guard position, she has a lot on her shoulders, but she handles it with such poise.
And she'll take a seat on the bench for the final 47 seconds of this first quarter. Jones knocks down the first free throw. Michigan offense with a strong finish to this first quarter. Sotelo, though, on the ground. And her elbow on the line. "20 seconds on the shot clock for Michigan. Olivia Olson with 4 points. Flau'jae with the fake. Too strong off glass. But fighting for the offensive rebound was Del Foss, and she's fouled.
Getting offensive rebounds is not a skill. That is a want. She wanted that offensive rebound. She has been attacking the glass every single shot that Michigan has put up, and she is long, and it pays off when she's getting to the free throw line.
Del Foss hits 1 of 2. Shot clock off for the final possession of the first quarter, but Blair in trouble. And the takeaway. 10 seconds to play. Michigan brings it back up. Here's Swords. And she'll let that one slip out of bounds. 2 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Jones at the buzzer. And that is how.
And a lot of passion. It really comes down to the team that gets to normal the fastest. Slow it down, run your offense, and don't have unforced turnovers.
Ela Holloway was great for Michigan in that first frame with 7 points. Here's Corals Daniels. And she'll take an extra step, gets called for the travel.
That's why Rashonda Jones is on that Naismith Defensive Player watch list, because she can guard players like Brooke Corals Daniels.
And Corals Daniels was actually a player that Michigan thought deserved to be on that list too. She's also a great defender, as Van Sloten just can't finish near the rim.
They need to continue to get Grace Van Sloten that ball in transition. She's going to make those shots.
Michigan right now tied for second in the Big Ten standings with Iowa. They feed Flau'jae inside, and she goes off glass.
Flau'jae did such a good job sealing Van Sloten so high, where that pass gave her so much room to finish the layup.
This Michigan press gave the Spartans a few headaches in that first quarter. Blair dumps it down to Van Sloten. Tries to get better position, but well defended by Flau'jae down low.
Great defense. Grace Van Sloten should have looked outside. She had wide open teammates for open shots.
Swords spinning. Bounce pass to Osling. And she can't get a shot to go.
In this moment, I want to see Michigan State slow the ball down. There's Kennedy Blair slowing it down, getting into their offense.
And here's Jalen Brown. She led all Spartans with 7 points. As Sword's going to get called for the whistle.
I would have liked to see more movement in that offense for Michigan State. It got really stagnant. I know the players are tired. I know they've been running so hard in that press and in the half court, but there has to continually be movement because that's where they're best, sharing the ball.
And that's something that Robin Freilich told us before the game. You can't relax for a second against this Michigan team, especially in a rivalry matchup. Every possession is going to count against these two. Here's Blair, off balance, and draws the foul.
Robin Freilich also mentioned that she said they are best when they're sharing the ball, not taking defenders one-on-one. I feel like in the last minute, coming into the second quarter, we've seen a lot of one-on-one plays. They are getting to the free throw line like we just saw with Kennedy Blair. But if they're not getting that foul, that's not a great possession for Michigan State.
Here's the redshirt sophomore, Kennedy Blair. averages 13 points a game, but also puts up 7 rebounds per game to go along with 5 assists.
Such a well-rounded player from every aspect: scoring, rebounding, assisting, defending.
Spartans back within 3. Jones got a hand on it. Jump ball.
I will continue talking about Jones's defensive pressure. She gets switched onto Olivia Olsen, arguably their best scorer, best player. She doesn't have the height advantage there, and she's still forced a turnover.
Michigan State coming off a win at Purdue where they scored 51 points in the first half.
Can we talk about Del Foss guarding the point guard?
She blocked Blair the first time, but Blair wins the battle. And she's getting the Breslin Center on their feet.
I love it. I love the energy.
Olsen will take a 3. Short. Michigan State facing the first top 10 team so far this season. Here's Brown, fearless.
I don't think many people know how hard that finish is. You are going over a player like Tayala Del Foss, who is 6'3". Her wingspan is so long. You're going across your body and finishing that also with your right hand. Super impressive by Jalen Brown.
One dribble, and the 3 falls for Olivia Olsen.
The prior possession, I didn't think that Olivia Olsen's 3 was a great shot, but that time they're giving it to her. If you have that much room and you're shooting with confidence, you're gonna knock it down.
And Brown, the answer on the other end, hits the 3 in the corner. Spartans with a 1-point lead with 6.5 to play in this first half.
Kelsey, I have goosebumps. Jalen Brown hitting that shot was huge for Michigan State.
11 points for Brown. Olsen again! Trading 3s back and forth. Blair double teamed up top, able to get it out to Brown. Bucket in, the foul for Jalen Brown.
Wow. To get that ball out of the trap and find your teammate in Jalen Brown, finishing through contact, she's doing it all over the court. She's hitting 3s, she's getting downhill, and 1s, getting to the free throw line. She deserves that Heisman celebration.
The senior guard in her first season in East Lansing, putting on a show here in the first half.
Robin Freilich mentioned her in pregame. She said that she has stepped up in a tremendous way with the absence of Theron Holloway.
14 points for the senior who has worked her way into the starting lineup. Here's Holloway. And she's fouled.
Spartan foul called on 23 Brown. Where's the first of the quarter?
Michigan State is doing a great job guarding in the half court. They're getting the shots that they want Michigan to take, but they have to do it without fouling low into the shot clock. They had Mila Holloway contested, 3 defenders on her. Just don't bring your hands down, and that's a great stop for Michigan State.
Jalen Brown getting applause as she heads to the bench. Mila Holloway, sophomore point guard for Michigan. Started every single game as a freshman last season, and she runs the show. Averages just shy of 5 assists per game, and she hits both free throws. Here's Sotelo, she gets it past half court. Emma Shoemate in the game from Michigan State. And Jones will slow down the offense. Stop and pop right from the free throw line, and she hits.
The Big Ten is just such a gauntlet this year. It's so fun to be a part of and watch.
UCLA and Iowa at the top of the Big Ten standings. Michigan tied with Iowa in second, and the Spartans in the 4th. Here's Rashonda Jones.
Michigan is not wanting Rashonda Jones to go to her left hand.
Blair hands it off to Van Sluten. 3 seconds on the shot clock. She's going to have to take the jumper, and she leaves it short. Both of these teams known for scoring in the paint, and that's what Holloway does.
What a great screen by Sofakanik down in the paint.
The Spartans so far have dominated the paint battle. 22-16. The Wolverines, though, keeping themselves in this game thanks to their stellar three-point shooting. And the offensive foul. Macy Brown coming up with a big play off the bench.
Happy birthday, Macy Brown. What a great way to start your birthday in the Breslin Center. Just the little screen by Sofakanik gave Holloway the wide open layup.
Michigan so far shooting 44% from behind the arc, but here's Sofakanik going to work inside.
We don't see Michigan going to Sofakanik one-on-one too much in this offense because there's so many other players on the court that can score at will. But if you can get her going early in the paint, that is great.
Here's Sotelo. Trying to work her way out of the trap, and Brown again drawing contact. It's a foul on Michigan State.
We knew that Michigan's bench was deep, but having Macy Brown come in and have 2 huge stops on the defensive end, that's what you want from your bench players. You don't necessarily have to score points, get shots up, but if you can get stops on the defensive end and not allow your opponent to score at ease, that's what your coach wants to see, and that's really how you gain minutes coming off the bench.
Swords finds Olsen. Off-balance shot doesn't go. Here's Blair, weaving her way in the paint, and she'll head to the free throw line.
Blair is so crafty in the open floor, getting out in transition fast. When she gets her feet in the lane, one, she is great at finishing through contact, great at getting her defenders up in the air and getting easy buckets, but also her vision when she gets 2 feet in the paint is so good. Both of these teams are great at cutting off the ball, moving without the ball, and that's how she has so many assists on the year.
Blair, a 75% free throw shooter, misses the first. Misses both. Swords comes away with the rebound. We saw both teams pushing the pace in the opening minutes of the first quarter. Great feed to Sofakanik, who finishes at the rim.
That offensive possession, they overloaded the entire right side of the floor, so there was no help side for Sofakanik to have a wide open layup when she sealed her defender yet again.
Wolverines on a 6-0 run. Here's Julianne Woodard for the first time. Blair through the defenders, can't get the bucket to go.
I would have liked to see Blair kick that out to Emma Shoemate, a 44% three-point shooter. Her player helped. You have to kick that to your best shooter on the floor.
Blair's asking for help, but she's going to take a timeout instead.
On this last possession, like I said, Michigan overloaded the entire right side of the floor. Sofakanik just sealed her defender and had an open layup because there was no help side on the left side of the floor. An amazing way to go into forcing Michigan State to call a timeout.
2 minutes to play. Number 9, Michigan with a 41-35 lead over Michigan State. Sydney, what have you liked from the Wolverines here in this second quarter?
Well, I've liked how they've kind of slowed down the pace in the half court. Once they break the press, they're not forcing shots, quick shots in the shot clock. They're slowing down their offense, getting into sets, and getting the open shots that they want.
10-team fouls for Michigan. Kendall Dudley with 3 fouls. She's on the bench right now. Holloway, Daniels, and Swords each have 2.
One other thing I've loved about Michigan in this, specifically in this second quarter, is they went to Sofakanik one time, but they knew that she was had that great high seal. They went back to her again. She already has 8 points, and she averaged 8.5 a game.
Shoemate gets it across half court. Woodard fakes the pass. She'll take a deep 3 and leaves it short. Shoemate, though, offensive rebound to Van Sloten, who puts it in.
Hustle plays are what Michigan State has that's keeping them in this game.
That ends the scoring drought for Michigan State, and Blair was all over that pass.
That's what Michigan State needs on the defensive end. Help side on the backside because Michigan is sealing so well at the post position.
Van Sloten, in a sea of Wolverines, gets the offensive rebound but couldn't get the bucket.
Need to kick that out again. Shoemate clapping for the ball.
Macy Brown one-on-one, and the Spartans come away with it.
Here's where, if you're Michigan State, you need to slow the tempo. You're missing shots at the basket that are uncharacteristic, especially for Grace Sloten. Set up your offense and get an easy look.
And the Spartans here will slow things down. Here's Jalen Brown. She's been fantastic from three today, and she hits another.
I think Coach Fralick heard what I said when I said open shots, easy buckets, set up your offense, go to the player that's kept you in this game, that is giving you the energy, Jalen Brown.
Michigan State within one, and fans are on their feet inside the Breslin Center. Swords to Sofakanik, and it's Shoemate with the takeaway.
The Michigan State defensive adjustment, having that backside defender on Sofakanik has been huge for them. 2 possessions in a row where they have gotten steals from that backside defender. If Michigan is smart, they would look at that skip pass across the court.
1 second separating game clock and shot clock. Woodard gives it back to Blair. She drives and finishes. And Michigan will start with the ball here in the third quarter. Mila Holloway leading the Wolverines in that first half with 11 points. Olivia Olson with 10. Both teams shot over 50% from the field in the first 2 quarters. Olson feeding Sofakanik, who draws the foul. Ines Sotelo getting the whistle on that one. Michigan State ended the first half on a 7-0 run, and a great bucket from Kennedy Blair that had every single fan on their feet in this building as they call kickball here.
I said it earlier, but against these really high emotion matchups, there's a lot of eyes on each player, a lot of eyes on the game. It's really about who gets to normal the first. It was such a fast-paced first half. I will be interested to see if it slows down a bit in the second half, or if both these teams are just that fast-paced.
Here's Swords spinning, and she's blocked by Van Sloten. 5 seconds on the shot clock for Michigan. Yeah, that first 5 minutes of the first quarter, we could barely keep up with the pace. Both teams moving in transition, going back and forth. Much slower start here in this third quarter.
When both defenses press like they do with so much pressure, so much energy, that's what you're going to get in the first 5 minutes of games.
And Olson draws the foul, and she'll head to the free throw line. This one going against Kennedy Blair.
Kennedy Blair cannot believe that call. I don't know. I think it might have been close. Kennedy Blair has to be smart to not pick up a third foul early in this half. She has 2 right now, which will keep her in the game. But if you get a third, that's going to hurt Michigan State. You don't want her on the bench. That's a player you need on the floor.
And Olson misses both free throws. That's something Michigan struggled with in the first half. Shooting now below 60% from the line. Sotelo, kick out, Jones from 3. And Olson comes away with the rebound. Holloway knocked down a couple of these in the first half. She's short. Corals Daniels gets the offensive rebound. Little turnaround jumper goes for Olivia Olson.
Great decision making by Mila Holloway. She missed her first shot. She could have shot that second one, but she got even a better shot by getting the ball to Olivia Olson on the inside.
Olivia Olson with 12 points has scored in double figures in all of Michigan State's 22 games this season as Van Sloten gets that one to fall.
What I loved about that shot was Van Sloten was so patient. She didn't rush her shot.
Spinning is Sofakanik, who finishes and gets the foul.
Sofakanik has been electric in this game.
Third basket by Sofakanik is good. She's had the line shooting
She's just reading what the defense gives her, and she's finishing so well through contact and getting herself to the line.
But again, missed free throws for the Wolverines. They've left 3 points on the board so far. Blair, deep look. Off the mark. Here comes Holloway. And easily is going to take this one to the basket. 13 points for Mila Holloway. And Michigan, after trailing by 1 at halftime, now find themselves up 3. Van Sluten trying to produce underneath.
Van Sluten trying to go through the contact, but because she is so good, there's so many defenders on her at the same time. On the other end, Mila Holloway is dominating, getting 2 feet inside in the paint and finishing.
Back-to-back lay-ins for Mila Holloway. She's up to 15 points. A great start for the Wolverines in this second half. Extra step from Jones, but can't get the finish.
Michigan State is leaving so many layups at the basket, just missing them a little too short.
Holloway is fouled by Sotelo, but 15 points for the sophomore point guard.
She is so hard to stop in transition. She has 2 speeds. She slows you down, and then she goes into that next level, and she's so great finishing with both hands around the basket. I thought there was a little bit of contact on that last one, but she played through it. She didn't expect the contact.
Swords, quick release, and she hits the 3. Swords only had 3 points in that first half. They'd like to get her heating up here in the third.
You could tell she was hunting that 3. She wanted to make that shot.
And Jones on the other end. Oh, what a finish from the junior.
When you hit a big shot like Silas Swords just did on the offensive end, you cannot come down and foul and put Michigan State at the line for a 3-point play. You have to be disciplined enough to see that you made a big shot, come down on the defensive end, and make sure you get a great defensive stop.
That was a much-needed bucket for the Spartans as Michigan opened up this half on an 11-2 run. Here's Olsen, quickly getting down court. Hits it to Swords. Corals Daniels floater. And diving on the ground, Blair comes up with it. The extra effort from the Spartans, and here's the 3-point threat for the Spartans, and Emma Shumate drains the corner 3.
That is the unselfish play that Michigan State needed in the first half.
And they get the takeaway here. Blair in the paint, and the finish. Spartans on a run, they're within 1. 7 straight points for the Spartans, but it's Holloway again on the drive to the rim.
Holloway doing everything she can to quiet this crowd. Michigan State goes on a run. Michigan comes on the other end. Not just Michigan, but Mila Holloway getting downhill at ease.
Here's Jalen Brown on the baseline. Extra pass to Blair inside. Unselfish play from the Spartans as Sotelo pokes this one out of bounds.
Unselfish play, but what a cut. The drives from Kennedy Blair, she's so crafty around the basket, making hard finishes, reading the defenders. And on the other end, Mila Holloway doing what she does best, getting downhill. Finishing with that inside hand is so hard to do.
Momentum on the Spartan side, but Olsen, 4-3 off the back of the rim. Swords diving. And Blair again is the one who comes up with it. Jones out to Brown. And Swords gets the steal. Trying to force it inside. Here's Olsen. Transition 3 is good.
She is not looking like a 27% three-point shooter tonight. She is shooting the ball with confidence. Her teammates are getting her the ball. She's running hard in transition and getting to her spot.
Olivia Olsen with 4 threes in this game. Sotelo trying to feed Blair inside, and Olsen's in the arc here today.
What I love most about her in this game today is, yes, they came out playing off of her. They're giving her the three-point shot. She missed 2, but she never gave up. She kept shooting the ball with confidence. She's reading the defense, what they're giving her, and she's playing like a pro. KBA said to us yesterday that she at times is playing like one of the best players in the country, and that's why she is a pro. And we're seeing that in her sophomore year.
She's coming off a season-high performance of 27 points as Del Foss just can't bring that one in. She's top 10 in the conference in scoring. Averages 18 a game. She has 15 here this afternoon. Kennedy Blair now with 12 points and 7 rebounds for Michigan State. She has been the spark as she draws the contact and almost gets that one to fall in.
She's so crafty and strong when she's getting downhill. That's a really hard shot. Falling away from the basket through the contact, getting to the line. There was 2 defenders that were on her during that drive. But she never is scared of 2 defenders on her. She goes through all of them.
And we have talked all game how similar these two teams are on paper, but they're pretty different on the court. Michigan, a little bit more poised and relaxed. Michigan State, on the other hand, they bring the energy and intensity, and I love the reaction from Blair as you see it here, pumping up the crowd after she ties this one with free throws.
I've been watching her all year long, and one thing I love about Kennedy Blair, she is someone you would hate to play against because of her energy, because of her celebrations, but she's also somebody that you want on your side of the court. She's somebody you want to play with because she puts her body on the line all the time.
And Olsen's going to head to the free throw line here to shoot 2. And she makes a big one. In this game, Michigan shooting below 50% from the free throw line.
You never want this game to come down to free throws. It's a close game. Michigan isn't a great free throw shooting team, but down the stretch, now that we're in the second half, those are points that you need to get.
This game has been close from start to finish. It's a 1-point game with under 4 to play, but the Spartans turn it over here. That's their 11th of the game so far.
On that possession, you just need to slow down a bit. You don't need to score that quickly in this shot clock. It was a really tough pass for Grace Van Sluten to catch. It looks like it might have been her mistake, but I think Kennedy Blair just needs to slow down a little bit.
Michigan plus 3 in this third quarter. Swords kick out to Holloway. Too strong. Fighting for the rebound is Blair on the ground. And it's a jump ball. It'll be Michigan State basketball.
Look at the length of the girls that are on the floor right now on both rosters. Specifically Michigan State. You have Shumate, Van Sluten, Brown, Blair, and Sotelo. All girls that are nearly 6 foot and over. Such a tall lineup.
Here comes Blair, loses control. And Michigan State gets the timeout.
This crowd.
Over 11,000 fans inside the Breslin Center to watch these 2 women's basketball teams face off. Michigan tied for 2nd in the Big Ten standings. Michigan State right behind them in 4th as Blair's pass goes out of bounds.
It was a great look. She was wide open. You just have to connect on that.
And Jones is going to check in for Blair. 5 turnovers for the redshirt sophomore in this game. Olsen and Holloway each with 17 points apiece for the Wolverines. Inside, Del Foss, no. Dudley an offensive rebound. Great pass inside, and Delphos gets the finish.
Great unselfish play, just that quick side-to-side pass.
And Sotelo turns it over. An unforced turnover for the Spartans. That's their 14th of the game.
Replacing Matt.
Those turnovers are so uncharacteristic for Michigan State. They're one of the best teams in the Big Ten, taking care of the basketball, not turning it over, not playing in the hands of their opponents.
They average 12 per game, but they're playing against one of the best defenses in the country. The three no good, and a foul's going to be on the ground.
I love that play call by Coach Kim Barnes-Rico. Sideline out of bounds. You're trying to get Silas Swords going, getting open shots, hitting shots. That was a great shot for her.
And it's Dudley who's going to head to the free throw line. Dudley had 3 fouls in that first half, so we didn't get to see much of her. And she misses the first.
Dudley is such a unique player. She came from UCLA, where she played in every single game for the Bruins, transferred to Michigan. KBA said that she had been recruiting her since high school. She's a basketball junkie. She loves to learn, she loves to watch, and she's just really grown into the player her sophomore year that she kind of saw in her as a high schooler.
And she brings some much-needed depth to this Michigan squad. That's the difference in this year's team, according to Kim Barnes-Rico. They have so many weapons, and they can go deep into their bench. Here's Brown. What a finish! 21 points for Jaylen Brown. That matches her season high.
If you play in the Big Ten, you better be familiarized with Jaylen Brown, because she is here to play and here to stay.
Here's Swords on the drive. Bucket and the foul for Silas Swords.
That's the kind of attack I was looking for Silas Swords. I thought she was settling for a lot of three-pointers, which that's her game. She is a fabulous three-point shooter, but getting downhill, getting easy buckets, she can do that as well as she can shoot threes.
She completes the three-point play.
Let's not forget Silas Swords is an Olympian on the floor. She played for Team Canada in the last Olympic Games. What was she, 18 years old?
She appeared in all games in Paris. Brings some
So
great
impressive.
experience. Here's Sotelo against Olsen. Gets her own rebound.
What a great job by Olsen not fouling on that.
And Shoemate knocks down the deep three.
95% of Emma Shoemate's shots are three-pointers. You know she's going to shoot the ball when the shot clock is winding down. She's a 44% three-point shooter.
Olsen well defended. Dudley grabs the offensive rebound and a jump ball call.
Emma Shoemate, one of the best three-point shooters in the country. They find her. If you're not pressed up against her as close as you can without fouling, she's going to knock down the shot. You can't give her any breathing room anywhere on the floor. And I know that because I guarded her for the last 3 years in the Big Ten. She did it at Ohio State. She did it at Michigan State. I'm well aware of what she can do on the floor.
And she's doing it here on the biggest stage against their rival. Here's Swords, under a minute to play in this third quarter. It's on the ground and Blair comes away with it. Pushing the pace. One-on-one against Holloway and no foul called. And Jones. Kickball, Michigan State ball.
These players are playing hard, bodies flying. There was a battle in the paint last possession. I thought somebody might have gotten teed up, but they are playing with so much effort and intensity. I know it's just February 1st, but it feels like late March.
Physical matchup, and we knew it was going to be one. Kim Barnes-Rico said, Michigan State, they play tough, they play strong. They're going to play extra tough and strong in this game against us.
She also said life on the road in the Big Ten is tough, and they're seeing it today. It's really hard to win in the Big Ten, and especially on the road in this hostile environment.
The Spartans are undefeated inside the Breslin Center. And there's a whistle against Swords. Excuse me, Sofacanic. That's her third.
Daniel was coming in for Michigan.
and a foul's going to be called. Such a heads-up player.
I think I'm speechless because that's something you expect from a player like Kennedy Blair. So crafty, kind of thinks of the things to trick the defenders out. I don't even know. She's just so fun to watch.
And she has put on a performance here this afternoon. One of 3 Michigan natives on the Spartans roster.
3 on the Spartans, 3 for the Wolverines as well. So this means a little bit more for those players in in-state rivalry.
Sotelo getting her hands on it, and it'll stay Spartan ball.
A lot of these in-state players that are from Michigan, some of them had the choice between Michigan and Michigan State. So this does mean more to them. A lot of rivalry throughout the years.
And the men played on this court on Friday night. It was the Wolverines who came away with the win.
Can't wait to see what Kennedy Blair does on this end of the shot clock.
She ended the first half with some flair. She's got 5 seconds to work with here. Instead, she dumps it off to Sotelo, who puts it in.
That's why she's such a well-rounded player. She can score at will, but she's...
Well, here we go. These fans have witnessed a phenomenal rivalry matchup so far. Here's Holloway getting pressure all the way up to half court. 8 times tied, 14 lead changes so far as Delphos hits the jumper to start the scoring here in the fourth quarter.
We know both these teams can score. We're in the fourth quarter. It's about getting stops. It's about locking down on defense, not messing up your defensive coverage, playing to your opponent's tendencies. It's all about the little things coming into this fourth quarter.
The Spartans went on a 6-0 run to finish out the third quarter. Sotelo couldn't finish here. They also finished the first half on a 7-0 run. Corals Daniels will set up the offense. Seconds to work with. Catch and shoot. Swords through. No. And a foul on the ground. Some tough contact. Sotelo and Sofakanik down for both sides.
Both teams.
And neither team has. So it'll be Michigan ball out of bounds.
Just a reminder to everyone, this matchup is the highest seed matchup that they've ever played against each other. Both top 15 teams. They've never been this highly ranked playing against each other.
And both teams having one of their best programs, best seasons in program history, as Shoemate's going to pick up a foul here.
Gotta be smart if you're Shoemate there. You already have Silas Swords being rushed, trying to make a hard decision because of the pressure. Just don't foul her because then the shot clock doesn't reset.
Second team foul on Michigan State. Holloway to an open Swords in the corner. Can't hit. Van Sluten gets the rebound. Van Sluten's been held to just 9 points in this game so far, holding our breath as Shoemate nearly gets the 3 here, but Holloway on the other end hits the mid-range.
Holloway is so level-headed. She's so poised. She's not rushed. She doesn't rush into that pull-up jumper in transition. That's a hard shot to take as well. Such a smooth player.
Here's Jones. Jalen Brown has been the go-to for this offense today. Van Sluten picks up her dribble. Here's Blair, and the finish! With all the hands in her face.
Over 3 defenders, she finishes that shot. There might have been some contact, but she doesn't care. She's gonna finish that shot down the stretch in the fourth quarter against a rival team, in-state matchup, and a Michigan kid.
Delphos with a tough drive to the basket. 8 points for Tayala Delphos. And it's a 3-point lead for the Wolverines.
That finish by Tayala Delphos reminded me, KBA said at the end of this, she might be the sophomore out of this sophomore class that has the most growth, could be the best player. And she's saying that over Silas Swords and Olivia Olson, Mila Holloway, who are pros. They are going to be playing at the next level. And she also thinks Tayala Delphos is going to as well.
Mechanic and
so a couple subs come back in for Michigan. It'll be Spartans basketball under their own hoop as Sotelo checks back in after taking a bump to the face. Van Sluten able to get it into Sotelo, falling over, and a whistle for a foul.
These Michigan lineups are so unique. They have a big lineup in a second ago. They sub out Delphos and Suffolcanic. They bring in a guard play, so that means that they are doubling the post player every single time Van Sluten has it.
5 Michigan players with 3 fouls as Blair, with probably her easiest drive of the game, can't get it to fall.
I know she wants that one back bad.
Here's Olsen on the other end, and she's stripped by Shoemate. Shoemate, the open 3, and she hits! 3 threes for Emma Shoemate. And it's all tied up inside the Breslin Center.
We can't hear each other in the Breslin Center. That's how impactful that 3 by Emma Shoemate was. Don't leave her open.
Here's Holloway, the finish near the rim.
I have a feeling every single time Michigan State hits a big shot, Mila Holloway comes down, makes an easy layup. It's like, it's no big deal. We still have the momentum on our side. Let's not rush shots, get to your spots with ease.
She has such a calm composure as just a sophomore. Van Sluten, what a pass, the finish for Sotelo.
The movement off the ball for Michigan State has been so great. The cutters.
And it's another turnover for the Wolverines. Shoemate thought about that 3. Instead, here's Blair. And she throws it away. Olsen on the move. And Holloway will settle things down at the top. Dudley in the paint, and she scores.
This full court pressure is not going away from Michigan.
We are just trading buckets back and forth here in this 4th quarter. Wolverines with a 2-point edge. Sotelo calls her own number. Can't finish. Here's Holloway. Kicks it off her foot, ends up in her teammate's hands. And Shoemate's gonna get called for the foul. That's the 3rd foul on Shoemate. Sotelo also with 3 fouls. Only 2 Spartans with 3 fouls apiece. Looks like Olsen's got her shoe tied, and she'll take this one out of bounds. Holloway has tied her career high with 21 points. She gives it off to Swords. Back to Holloway. Catch and shoot 3 is good. New career high for Mile Holloway. "24 points for the sophomore, and that's a big 3. Brown looking for the answer on the other end. And Jones is going to get the whistle.
What a big shot by Mila Holloway. She's doing it all game long, taking it inside with poise. Her teammates are finding her on the outside. No hesitation, knocking down the shot. New career high. KBA said it. They have so many weapons on this team. Anyone can score at any time.
But on the other end, Sotelo with the takeaway and the finish. Just when you think Michigan was going to pull ahead, the Spartans are back in it, trailing by 3. Here's Dudley. Loses it. Shoemate's on it. Ball on the ground. Last touch by the Spartans.
In such close games, you have to take care of the ball. Michigan State thrives on turnovers and scoring off of them.
They get it into Corals Daniels here. Swords in the corner. No. And what an effort from Corals Daniels, but it'll be Michigan State ball.
That's a great shot by Silas Swords, but a fantastic hustle play by Corals Daniels. We keep saying it, but they're putting their bodies on the line.
Under 3 to play in this top 15 showdown. Fans on the edge of their seats inside the Breslin Center. Blair in the corner. Sotelo on the move, but she took a step, gets called for the travel. Costly turnover for the Spartans. And here comes the full court pressure. Wolverines are able to break it. Olsen on the drive. No. And it'll be Michigan State ball.
Michigan broke that press with ease, but when Olivia Olsen has the ball in transition and they break the press, she has to finish like there is not going to be contact. She expected contact on that drive.
It looks like Kim Barnes-Arico was trying to get a review on that. Took too much time as Jones with the big bucket ties this game at 77.
Rashonda Jones couldn't hit that shot a year ago when she played for Purdue. She's now on a top 15 team at Michigan State, and she can knock down that shot. She's elevated her game from last year to this year.
Deafening inside the Breslin Center. As Swords' dribble goes out of bounds. And a foul's going to be called down low.
What a way to pass the ball around the arc. Good pass to great pass. Knocking down a huge shot, Rashonda Jones. Rivalry matchup, tied up the game.
And fans do not like the call. That is the 5th team foul on Michigan State. So the Wolverines are in the bonus as Swords going to head to the free throw line. But she knocks down a big one. Michigan has struggled at the line today, shooting 50%. Misses the second. It's a 1-point lead for Michigan. Kennedy Blair quick to get this one past half court. And a foul's going to be called on Dudley. That's her 4th. Third team foul for Michigan.
Down the stretch, you have to be careful about who you're fouling. When it goes into double bonus, you don't want to put a great free throw shooter at the line.
Here's Jones. Kick out to the corner. Shoemate 3 off the rim. Great look from their best 3-point shooter. And Michigan has the ball and the lead with 1:10 to play. Olsen with 10, gives it to Swords. With space, Silas Swords for 3!
That's what what she does best. She hits big shots in big moments. She's not afraid of the spotlight. Even though they're freshmen, or even though they are sophomores, they do not play like sophomores. They've been in these big moments, and they were ready for them.
It's a two-possession game. Jones going to work, and she's blocked, but a foul's going to be called on Corals Daniels.
Michigan foul ball number 5.
Going back to talking to KBA yesterday, she said that these sophomores, they don't like to hear that they are young because they've played in big games. They play in situations like this. She said that they are the best sophomore group in the country.
And they have proved it here today as Jones hits the first free throw. And it's a two-point game. 39 seconds on the clock. And Michigan's going to call a timeout. Some of the best in the country so far, and they're doing it here at the Breslin Center. It's been a career day for Mila Holloway. She kicks it out. Not wanting to take a shot too early.
About a 10-second differential between shot clock and game clock.
5 seconds to work with. Here's Holloway. She's going to put one up, and it's off the mark. Timeout, Michigan State with less than 10 seconds to play.
Michigan State calls timeout.
It's down to this. Michigan State trailing by 2 at 9 seconds on the clock, and they advance the ball after the timeout.
If I'm Michigan State, you go for a 2. You don't go for a tough 3. You go for a 2 to try and tie this game up.
Well, here we go. Jones gets it to Blair. Clock winding down. Blair on the drive, and she puts it in! The redshirt sophomore calls her own number and gets the big bucket to tie it.
Kennedy Blair, let me remind everybody listening to this broadcast, Emma on the defense and offensive end with not fouling out. She's important to this team, she's important to this roster, and she's important to this rivalry. But for Michigan, they have 2 players with 4 fouls. They have Corals Daniels, she has 4 fouls, and Kendall Dudley 4 fouls. Both players that are starting this overtime matchup.
And here we go. Spartans get opening possession in overtime.
A little bit of a surprise, the Michigan State men's team coming from practice in all their practice gear ready for this overtime matchup.
And Van Sluten open down low. Gets the first bucket of OT.
That's who you want to go to early in this overtime. Van Sluten, the heart and soul of your team.
What a finish. It's been a career afternoon for Mila Holloway.
Nobody can keep Mila Holloway in front of her. She's so quick, she's so smooth, she gets to the basket with ease. They have to find a way to stop her from getting easy buckets on the inside.
Here's Blair, she's double teamed and throws it away. 2-on-1, Olsen driving. And 1 for Olivia Olsen.
There's pros on this team. There's players that are going to be playing in the WNBA in years to come. One of those players is Olivia Olsen. She's doing it in big moments. She's finishing through contact, and she's finishing free throws. That's what they need from her down the stretch in this overtime game if they want this victory.
So it is a 3-point lead for Michigan State. The Wolverines bring in the full court pressure. Here's Shoemate. Hands it off to Blair. She had the big bucket to tie it. Satella's gonna have to put this one up. And too strong. So the Wolverines get a stop.
It's a great defensive possession for the Wolverines. That's what they needed. That's something that's going to ignite their offense, getting stops on defense, forcing them into hard shots with only 2 seconds left in the shot clock.
Here's Olsen with some space, and she hits from deep.
Cold-blooded. She's ready for these moments. She's been in these moments. She's proving why she's one of the best players in the country, and she's proving why this Michigan team is so highly ranked, because they have players like her, they have players like Mila Holloway, they have Silas Swords, and they have a deep bench.
Great feed to Van Sluten. Couldn't finish, but draws the foul. Olivia Olsen with 4 threes in this game. That ties her season high.
After she hit 2, Michigan State needed to make the adjustment. You're going over everything on her. You're not letting her see the basket with an open look. They just lost her on that possession. You have to be so defensively focused down the stretch in an overtime game to not let a player like Olivia Olsen get wide open shots like that.
Van Sluten misses both. So an empty possession for the Spartans as they now trail by 6 with 2:40 to play in overtime. Olsen feeds Swords, and she puts it in off glass.
We have Olivia Olsen hitting threes. We have Silas Swords posting up on the inside.
Here's Brown. She had a fantastic first half for the Spartans. Ball moves around to Blair in the corner. Driving. Blair, in and out, but she'll head to the free throw line.
These are 2 really big free throws for Kennedy Blair to knock down. Michigan State's gone on a run. Blair going to the line, taking her defender off the bounce. It just slows down everybody. It gives everybody a breather. These 2 free throws are going to mean a lot.
And she hits the first. A 78% free throw shooter. It's also 4 fouls on Olivia Olsen.
Brown.
6-point lead for the 9th-ranked team in the country.
Michigan won last year when they were in the Breslin Center. Can they do it a second year in a row at the Rivalry school in a hostile environment?
Spartans, though, have won 3 of the last 4. Oh, what a pass, what a feed to Olsen, but the offensive foul!
I don't think anyone's surprised. The one that took the charge on the defensive end is Rashonda Jones. What a great pass, a great back cut, but a better positioning by Rashonda Jones. And that's Olivia Olsen's 5th foul.
Olivia Olsen has fouled out of the game with 1:40 to play in overtime.
That is a huge loss for Michigan. Arguably their best player, their best scorer, is now on the bench with 1:40 left in an overtime game.
She followed up a season-high 27-point performance with 23 this afternoon. Blair in trouble. Holloway, last touch. It'll stay Michigan State ball. Here's Brown, and it's intercepted by Swords. Six-point lead for Michigan.
Michigan sniffed out that flare screen that Shoemate was coming off of. They needed a 3. They knew who they were going to go to.
17 Michigan State turnovers. Swords! In and out, but a foul's going to be called. That one's going to go against Shoemate, and that's her 5th.
fouls out, replaced by number 10, Sotelo for the Spartans.
So she will take a seat on the bench.
By Daniels.
And Corals Daniels misses the first. Exactly a minute left in overtime.
Huge free throw make. You just needed to make one of those. That comes from a 2-possession game to a 3-possession game with a minute left.
Well, here's Kennedy Blair. She's got some work to do. Picks up her dribble. Gets it to Van Sluten. Weaving her way through. And doesn't get the shot to fall. Whistle called. It's going to be against Swords, so it'll stay here with Michigan State.
At line for the Spartans, number 10, Sotelo, shooting 2.
That's Swords' 4th foul.
Coral Daniels with 4, Swords with 4, Dudley with 4.
Sotelo hits the first, a 63% free throw shooter on the season.
If this second free throw goes in, if you're Michigan State, you need to foul Michigan soon.
She hits them both. So if you don't get the turnover right away, you foul.
Try and go for the steal first.
And there they'll go for it.
It's a
Jones
possession
will
game.
foul Corals Daniels, and she'll head to the free throw line.
It's now a possession game. You're trying to get more possessions because you need to score if you're Michigan State. But this plays into Michigan State's hands because Michigan is not a great free throw shooting team. So if you can foul them early and get them to the line, you might have a better chance of coming back from this deficit.
Michigan State 11 for 22 at the free throw line this afternoon. But Corals Daniels hits the second. 93-87, and Michigan State calls it
2 points. It was a great game, so they showed they can play with the best. But recently, they haven't played against as many ranked opponents.
Woodard's gonna throw this one up. It's short. Blair's with the rebound. Can't put it back in. Van Sluten, though, an opportunity, and she's fouled.
Sotelo in for the Spartans.
Sotelo checks back in for Woodard.
The Spartans are doing everything they can to get more possessions, offensive rebounds, trying to put it back up. They're fighting. I love this fight from Michigan State. They are not just playing in the hands of Michigan down the stretch.
Van Sluten misses the first. Kennedy Blair, though, that was her 10th rebound. Double-double for the redshirt sophomore, 21 points and 10 boards. And she hits the second. 4-point game, 24 seconds to play. Swords with some space. She's trapped. And Michigan got the timeout off. All that replay, Michigan State had a chance. Ines Sotelo almost had the game winner. They get it into Corals Daniels. She dribbles away. 13 seconds left. And they finally foul Del Foss. 11 seconds left on the clock. And the sophomore's going to head to the free throw line.
Del Foss is actually one of their best free throw shooters at 77% this season.
But they continue to struggle at the charity stripe.
They've missed 12 free throws tonight. That can make or break a game.
And the Spartans will use their final timeout with 11 seconds remaining to advance the ball. So that was a big free throw, 6-point game.
6 rebounds, she's doing it all over the floor.
They get it in Blair, 10 seconds to play. Brown in the corner, she'll get a shot off, it's short. Van Sluten the rebound, puts it up. And a whistle's gonna be blown. Foul's gonna be on Michigan.
Michigan foul called on number 3, Holloway.
That's going to be on Holloway. That's her 5th. So with 1.7 seconds remaining, Holloway fouls out. And Sotelo's going to head to the free throw line.
The Michigan fans are already on their feet. They know they have this one in the bag.
Sotelo gets the putback, but that is how this game.
The rear arc of Blue Ballfire continues to impress. James return from the floor. A lot of Morris. Morris with a turnover. Into the upper body, across the 25. In our game tonight, bowl season rolls on with number 16 USC and TCU. The Valero Alabama Bowl. TCU 3-2 all time against USC. Last year, Sun Bowl in 1998. Joey Aguilar, what a long and winding road for Tennessee quarterback from Antioch, California. Up in the Bay Area, we see took the park to junior college practice. Moving home at the time. A couple of different JUCO stops. Up to his career. So 3-yard gain on first down by Deshaun Bishop. He's telling us he took a firefighter's class in high school. Rolling out the hoses for